What's going on, everybody? My name is Baloo and welcome to the jungle. This is the channel where we take a very simple approach to technical analysis. We look at the price in the context of volume using the Wyckoff method. If that is something that interests you, then why don't you hit the subscribe button? I do this every single day, except for the days that I don't. So today, just an update on what is going on inside of Bitcoin. We'll take a look at Bitcoin and we'll take a look at Ethereum as well. So let's just jump right into the charts and see what we can see. So let's just back it up, go to the 4 hour here. I've got a couple different trading ranges. So Bitcoin is kind of in no man's land right now. It's, you know what, let's go to a clean chart and then I'll explain what's going on here. So BTC, USD, let's go to the Bitstamp chart. Got a range there. So there's a couple different trading ranges that I'm looking at. If we zoom out on the macro, we obviously have a significant change of character here. So I made note of that change of character with the buyer's climax here and the automatic reaction here. That's kind of our macro range. It hasn't confirmed that we are going to test the bottom end of the range, but this is where I'm starting out with my analysis as a possibility. If it does reach the bottom of the range, I'll definitely be looking to long in that area. So this is kind of what I'm looking at. We're testing the top end of the range. You know, if we come back down to the bottom, that would be fairly bearish. It would take a long time to recover down at those levels near around $16,000. But there is also the chance that this is just a shakeout. You can kind of see how the price is trapped inside of here. So if we raise this up kind of around this area right here, I kind of like how that wick just came down and kissed. And we came down, and now we've come back up. So this range is a lot more bullish. This range is a lot more bearish. Now you can see that it's also kind of the mean. So the mean of this range is kind of what's reacting as this range right here. So we'll kind of keep both for now. Keep an eye on it as a possibility. If we do get a significant correction to the downside, you know, it would be a very good place to be looking for long positions. Now, just a note, I never just place an order on a support line. I always wait for confirmation. I want to see the price structure develop. I was actually in a short position that I held a little too long back here because I was waiting for the price action to show me whether we were going to continue higher or go lower. We continued higher. I took profits in the position, but the most of the position did get stopped out. So, you know, when we're range bound like this, you get chopped up. You really need to be on the right side of the trade. Bitcoin kind of leads. It gets the altcoins all revved up, but they're like a day behind, and it's really easy to get chopped up, especially if you're encountering or you're maintaining exposure into the altcoins. It's really easy to get chopped up when you are range bound. It is far better, far safer, far greater for your portfolio to wait until we get a nice backup on top of the range and enter a trending environment. When you're in a trending environment, your altcoin plays are going to perform fantastically. When you're in the chop, you got to be very careful that you are not over trading, and you have to make sure that you get really good entries. So anyways, that is one range that I am seeing inside of Bitcoin. Another range, which is proving thus far to be a little bit more valid, is this ascending trading range here. So if we go back here, we can kind of pull that up and drag that down. You can kind of see how the price is respecting this trading range right here. I'm going to make this one pink. We were dragging along the top. We finally got the rejection down to our automatic reaction, rallied back up for a secondary test, and now we've come in for our second test in phase B. This is coming on really nice volume. The volume, you know, we got our spike here, which correlates with the automatic reaction. We got our spike here, which is our secondary test. Spike back here for our preliminary supply, and then our buyer's climax right here. So all the points are there, and then we are seeing a contraction in the price and a contraction in the volume. This is good. The volume is declining and the spread on all the candles is decreasing, so that's also good. So it's actually a pretty bullish setup that we're looking at right now, but we do have a possibility. We're up at the all-time high. It's really, you have to be very cautious with your analysis. You also have to be very aggressive with any trade that you enter. Make sure you're taking profits very, very quickly. If you are a little bit more of an advanced trader, you might want to look into some hedging options or, covering your positions. If you're in a long, maybe cover short, different strategies that kind of neutralize the position when you're in no man's land here. But these are kind of the two macro ranges that I'm looking at. So I would like to see a test back down here. If we can get a test of this level at around 18.4, 18.5, somewhere in that area, see how the price develops. If we can hold a little bit of supporting structure along the bottom of this trend line, I think that would make this ascending trend line a little bit more valid. We will have a confirmed spring action, a confirmed test. And then if we start to, ladder up from there, we can only assume that this is the more valid pattern. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. It does look like we are beginning to reverse at the upper end of this yellow line here. Another bullish scenario is kind of this trading range here. So like I said, it's really hard to get solid analysis when you're in no man's land like this. We have a lot going on. So I'm just going to drag this range down here to about there. Drag that down to the automatic reaction. Somewhere in there. Yeah. I'm going to make that one blue. So if we zoom in, you can see that this is kind of we're getting smaller and smaller, but this is kind of the reaccumulation that we're looking at, and this was in confluence with the pink trading range. So it's looking like the yellow one is less and less valid, or less and less relevant, at least tentatively. I'm not going to put too much weight on it at the moment. It was the reversal point for this area right here, but we're also holding for a potential backup. So this is what I anticipate. I anticipate probably riding this down a little bit to the end of the trading range here. If we look bullish, if we look like there is a lot of support in this area, I think I'm just going to go for it, and we'll take a long position and hope that our position holds. I'm really being very cautious with my entries right now because we're up at the all-time high. So you have to take that into consideration. This is what I'm seeing right now. If we zoom in on the current move where we are beginning to break down a little bit, let's just go over to my futures chart and we will jump down to the 5-minute. So I always analyze on larger time frames for the idea, and then when I'm looking at entries, then I'll zoom in. I don't just pick a candle on the 4-hour and say that's nice. I zoom in to try and nail the entry. So here we have a little bit of a distribution pattern that seems to be playing out to the downside on Bitcoin. We're here on the 5-minute buyer's climax, automatic reaction, a bunch of failed up thrusts, a few of which resulted in a sign of weakness. We finally got our LPSY right here. That really broke down, and I'm looking for another rounding top, another LPSY to form here. We might get a jump up. It seems to do that, and then another failure down to this area right here at around 18.8. That would be the short-term analysis as far as what I'm looking for inside of Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum, it's kind of the same story, just a little bit different structure. So we'll zoom out here onto the 4-hour. Same thing. We kind of have that same macro trading range developing here. They both held along the bottom end of this ascending range, and we're just waiting for further confirmation. If we get a move down here, I think it would be an awesome place to place a long order. I say that speaking more so to the traders that know how to use stop losses and know how to calculate risk. we're up at all-time highs. This is not buy and hold territory. This is buy into a potential long and try and squeeze a little bit of profit out. This is, you're putting a stop loss down below support, and it's a high risk trade. We're up at the all-time high. This is a very serious area of rejection, so you need to take that into account. I am not buying these assets and holding them on a ledger long term. We're not in that territory. If we get a 30, 40, sometimes even, well, not in a bull market, but if we get a 30 or 40% correction or a revisit of the 21-week moving average, now those are longer term swing trades that you would want to hold potentially on a ledger or offline, or just, add to your stack, however your strategy, whatever your strategy may be. So that is what I'm seeing inside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, if this kind of method of analysis interests you, we just look at price, we look at volume. This is called the Wyckoff method. I don't use indicators. You don't need indicators for this method. It's a cool method. Richard D. Wyckoff, one of the original stock traders back in the early 1900s, came up with this method. It's very powerful, and I teach it in my Discord. There's a free Discord link down below. Join the community, come say hi, and come grab some of these PDFs to learn this really powerful method of analysis. That is all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed the content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and if there are any coins that you would like me to take a look at, leave them in the comments section down below. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.